Hey everybody, and welcome back to another one of Mudflap's movie reviews. My name is Mudflap, and today I will be reviewing the first episode of Season 4 of Stranger Things. Let's get started. So this first episode, The Hellfire Club, is directed by Sean Levy, and we get all of our returning cast members to another great season of Stranger Things, including a couple new faces, Joseph Quinn and Grace Van Dyne. So we start off this episode where it's a flashback to 1979, Hawkins' lab where Elle was created. And we see Dr. Brenner once again, also known as Papa, to all the kids there at the hospital. And I hope to see more of why this happened. This was a really shocking opening scene where we see 11. She shows a whole bunch of power, and it was a massacre. But I'm not sure what led up to that and all the details surrounding that, but that's how we start this episode off, is a look into when 11 was just 10 years old or so, how far we've come since then. This episode we're going around different places. We have people in Hawkins, and then we have Will and Elle are going to Lenora High School in California now, because if you remember at the end of last season, they all went their separate ways. It was just really interesting to see where everybody was at in their lives. Each character is trying to move forward after all the events that happened at the Starcourt Mall. We got to see Lucas is really grown up. He's on the basketball team now. They're one game away from winning the championship. Dustin and Mike, they're still a part of D&D, but it's called the Hellfire Club, and it's under new leadership at their high school. They're all freshmen year of high school for all these guys, so it's a new adventure for them. Max is going through a lot. She's thinking about Billy a lot. Her home life right now is pretty tough, and she's getting therapy, but it doesn't really seem to be helping her much. She doesn't really want to open up. Elle is adjusting to life in California. It's almost her spring break, but she's dealing with some bullying issues there, and it's sad to see that. But I kind of like what they did with this character. All the other characters that we've seen throughout the show, they've all been bullied at one time or another, except for Elle, and now she finally gets to experience what it's like to be bullied, and I'm interested to see how she handles that going forward, but it's a whole new world for her. Will's just there trying to, help her out, and not much going on in his life right now. He's still being pretty quiet. He's kind of secretive at times. Some people were saying he might have a girlfriend. He's always been that shy, timid guy. And then of course we got Joyce. She's always doing something crazy. She received a doll in the mail from Russia apparently, and she's trying to figure out, why do I have a doll in my house? We got a couple new characters that showed up. Eddie, who is the head of the Hellfire Club for Dungeons and Dragons. He's a metalhead, and there's also been some stuff going around that he's murdered people. We haven't seen much of that yet. We just got introduced to him. He's definitely the definition of the 80s metalhead guy. He's a very eccentric guy, but I find him pretty entertaining. And then we get introduced to Chrissy. She is the girlfriend of the head captain for the basketball team at Hawkins. She's got a lot of issues going on mentally. I'm not really sure all the details surrounding that, but whatever's going on there, it definitely wasn't good. It's really dark. This season, I've heard, is going to be the darkest one yet. Just a lot of stuff to still be fleshed out. I'm really excited to see how this season of Stranger Things 4 is just going to up the ante again to a whole nother level, and hopefully we'll be introduced to new characters and monsters. Vecna sounds like the big bad for this. We saw him in the trailer. Vecna is like a big bad guy in the game D&D. Now we see that in one of the scenes where D&D game, it's the last of the campaign, and Vecna is the center of it. And according to how all the guys there were talking about Vecna, he is a force to be reckoned with. So I can't wait to see Vecna in action. There are a few moments of this first episode I really liked. One, I just liked kind of the break in the typical Stranger Things feel. I liked how, we got to see our characters in a very different mindset after all of what's happened to them, how they're all handling it and trying to keep living their lives. They're in high school now. It's a whole new adventure. They're nervous. They're excited. They're just trying to fit in and be popular now in high school because they're all sick of being bullied. They want to be liked by people, they want to be accepted by people, but I have a feeling that a lot of these characters are going to go into some pretty dark places in their mind. Specifically Max, I have a feeling, and then Elle might snap. We'll see. Definitely had her patience being pushed at her school. She's got a girl named Angela bullying her a lot. I just like seeing a little different approach to how we usually start these episodes for Stranger Things, but I'm just really excited to see the gang come back together. They're not together yet. Spring break is almost coming up, so I'm sure we'll see them together at some point again to try and figure out what their next big adventure is. So season 4 is split into 2 parts. We're gonna get the first several episodes right now, and then we'll have to wait until the early part of July for the second part of season 4. But part 1, all the episodes are about 50 minutes long, which super great length, a lot packed into there, a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, a lot to process. But I'm just really excited to see how this season progresses and how it's going to live up to being the darkest season yet. So for this episode, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 Mudflaps because it just really started off strong and it ended strong, and I was entertained the whole time, and I'm just really interested to see what direction this season is going to go in. And before you go, drop in the comments below who's your favorite character from Stranger Things. And as always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and I'll see you next time.